Well, for many years up until the mid-90s, we did exclusively hard bid. And so we understand that what they tell you at the beginning of a project really doesn't have a great deal of bearing on how the project runs.
Sure.
Again, we would have to issue it as a bid or as a CM. So it's not, we're not open to somebody coming in and just offering us a price.
So regardless, it wouldn't
Yes,
work.
we have to issue a request for proposals, and those
Right.
proposals will either be a hard bid number, or they'd be some other version. And again, we kind of learned that lesson a long time ago. We are going back occasionally and doing a little more competitive seal proposal. Typically, if the projects are relatively simple, we don't have a stress on the schedule, we're able to get the contract documents completed so that the scope is fully known. And there's a temptation to go that way. It is simpler. Certainly, you don't have the audit issues, you don't have to watch as much, you just have to watch the work, you don't have to watch the financials as much. But again, what people promise you, our documents are huge, and there's lots of requirements in there. So when someone comes in and says, "I've got you completely covered," we don't believe that.
Right. And it actually probably provides more work for you guys to have to do to follow up on that.
Yes, because it's more of a fight. And going back to the negotiation piece, what we tend to do is we may negotiate the actual GMP after we've selected. We don't select firms based on negotiation. We don't sit down at a table and negotiate, against each other. But once we have someone on board and we go through the rest of the design, what we end up negotiating is maybe pieces of the scope, certain kinds of materials versus other kinds of materials. We negotiate contingencies. We start out fairly high on contingency and get lower as the documents get better. So there is a piece of negotiation, but it's usually just with someone we've already pretty much agreed to work with. And then if we cannot reach a guaranteed max, we can't accept that, then we'll go cancel that, start over. But that's pretty rare because of the time involved.